I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the options as well that you have around here. I mentioned them at the start of the show. I mentioned tight lines, short corners, geometric, and early turn-ins. So what would be helpful is if I could draw that out for you guys, and then we could look at it together and then just talk about like which ones, just firstly, let's define our terms, right? And then we'll go to the pros and cons for each. So this is the diagram that I drew and I posted it on YouTube. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I'm going to walk through the 4 of these now and then we'll explain what's going on. All right, so let's start with number 1, geometric. Again, we're still on turn 13. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. Yeah, I'll zoom in a bit more so you can see it. How's that? And I'll grab a pen. What's a good pen? Red pen? All right, sick. Geometric. So geometric just means that the shape of this arc through here is very consistent and it's very uniform. And there's nothing wrong with the geometric. The geometric gets a lot of flack because it's not optimizing like entries or exits. It's just very conservative. And like, I guess the problem with the geometric is that you start cornering from the corner goes on for a long time. So this was the problem with what Rob Wilson had with this. Is like the corner just goes on for a long time. And when you go to apply the throttle, you're still turning, right? So if we had to draw the cornering zone like that, I'd do it I'd say it's all of the arrows there. So in a way, it's a long time cornering, if that makes sense. So I hope we're clear on the geometric. That's the best way I can describe it to you. Personally, I don't know much about it because I never drive it. I never coach. Like I never recommend this. But it's the basis for, everything else that has to follow. So this is like our comparison line. So then we come down, and next one is early turn-in line. This is Hamilton. Combines a lot on the entry. So watch the curb over here. So the curb here, the turn-in here is there, maybe even a bit earlier, the middle of the curb. Whereas the geometric, it's kind of towards the end of the curb. So I'll just zoom out so you can see that those two in shot. Now the early turn-in starts to turn in early. And when I say Lewis combines a lot, it's this aggressive late hard braking combined with the early turn-in. That means where does he get his snap? Bang, right there. That's where that photo was taken that I showed you guys before. So this is what Lewis does. Now you'll probably hear Peter refer to this as a short corner. The reason he thinks it's a short corner, hang on, let me go back. I'll take all this away. The reason he thinks it's a short corner is because it is a shorter distance per se. So like the geometric would do that. And as you can see, the purple one goes slightly inside the red, and so it's a shorter distance. But it is not a shorter corner as per Rob Wilson. Shorter corner is like more like V. Actually, I'll draw it a little bit. I'll draw it thicker for you guys. Short corner is more like V, right? Fast in, fast out, very small condensed rotation. The short corner refers to this, the short rotation, not the distance. So you've got to be clear on that as well. So that's early turn-in, Lewis Hamilton. Next up, the tight line. Chocolate eclair drives like this, Charles. So this was something probably I brought to the table. I'd like to think that this is my contribution to the motorsport world. The tight line says you're not going to find this entry position at all. You're coming from over here and, convention would say, okay, you go right out to the outside edge and then turn in from there. No, the tight line says we're not going to find that entry position. We're going to stay like mid-track or three-quarter track and then just turn in from there. A very powerful technique, extremely powerful technique. And I think it's quite underutilized at the moment in Formula One. The Leclerc drives like this sometimes. And yeah, it's my preferred option, let's say like that. Again, it depends on so many things, like the corner before is very important. Yeah, if there's a direction change, the track width is very important as well, like across here. So if it's a wide track, then you can play tight lines a lot more. If it's a skinny track and you're line locked, then obviously you don't have options, right? So this is one of my favorites. I think Leclerc is the only one on the grid that drives like this. Sometimes you'll see Hamilton drive like this, but not always. One of the advantages of the tight line is as you're coming across here, it stops you from the car pointing away from the track like that. Sometimes you'll see a lot of cars, and a Formula One car is really good at masking this as well. Sometimes you'll see a lot of drivers, like as they're coming to the left and they have to do a direction change to come to the right, you'll see the car point across to the right before turning. And that's a very lazy, very clumsy technique. And like I say, an F1 car will mask this because it's so good on direction change, and like you just won't see it unless you're looking at it, but it's bad technique. So what the tight line does, which I like, is it keeps the car nice and straight here at this point, and it's like square and compliant, and it's ready for turn in. So that's very important. That means the grip you're going to have on the turn in point, like around here, is going to be high. So I like the tight line. Leclerc's the only one that does that. And then we've got the short corner. So this is Mr. Max Verstappen. He loves this. This is why Max is so good in the wet, by the way. It's because he's like killer short corner driver. So the whole point with the short corner, it's V style, but obviously the V is very exaggerated. Like if I draw for you guys the V like we did before, it would be like that. That's almost like a wet line, right? And that's the short corner there. So it's the same thing, but the rotation is very condensed. Remember in the geometric, we said the rotation was from here, like all the way to like down here, and it covered all of that region. Well, not with the short corner. Remember, Max starts turning in slowly, starts braking slowly. So in a way, he's extending this straight coming in, and then he cranks the steering right at the end. That's the hot rotation point. If you listen to Rob, he'll talk about putting your hand on a stove that's warm, and you can leave it there for 5-6 seconds. You're not going to burn your hand. Or you can put your hand on a stove that's burning hot, and you're going to burn your hand in like 1 or 2 seconds. So this is like the hot stove area. And that's why I say Max choose front tires. It's because of this section here. But the idea is that you extend the straights coming in. And the crucial part is that on the way out, you can get an early throttle introduction. So Max is, out of all of these techniques, Max will be the first on throttle, and it will be from like here. And that's why he looped it, right? Because as he's coming through here, then the downforce drops out of the car with that low rotation, slow speed rotation. So, but yeah, the idea is that you extend the straights coming out, and you've extended the straight coming in, and the steering's not much, and it's got that hot rotation point there. So that's how Max drives. Now in the wet, you want to do something similar, but like, if you have to find the braking grip on the inside, you can do that here. And then you can still do it's essentially short corner driving. If you've seen Max in Brazil 2024, I did a mad analysis. It was entitled. Sorry, it was my mistake. It was entitled something like, "Why is Max so fast in the wet?" or something. It was all short corner stuff. So yeah, Ving it off. So there are your 4 techniques, guys. These are your options. So then the question becomes the $1 million question, right? Which is the best? Let me take a few of your questions first. Give me a sec. Divinason at Martin, what about the hybrid line we talked about? Tight line blended with short corner. Yeah, that's very powerful as well. So I'll zoom in on the tight line one. Yeah, what I've drawn is kind of it, right? In a way. So the tight line says that you're not going to find that entry point over here. And then you're going to do the whole short corner thing. I mean, you can still exaggerate it more, but it depends how short you want your corner to be, right? So that's another point, is like what we drew here is a short corner, and then that's even shorter, and then that would be even shorter because the rotation keeps getting pushed and condensed even smaller. Yes, divination, yes, you can combine these and they become very powerful. Absolutely. I just like the tight line, eh? Like I just feel like it's the car's more compliant on the entry, on the turn in. That's why I like it. Leclerc combines early turn in and tight lines. Well, the tight line means you don't have much work to do to get to the apex, and you're naturally going to get there quicker anyway. If you're combining tight line and early turn in, the tight line is the grand fight. Like the tight line is the big piece. Like for example, if you're doing a tight line and you turn in early, you're stuck. you're stuck here at the apex. So you can't go anywhere. So the tight line is like, these are all distinct techniques, but only some of them can be combined. Sam Dell, which one is best for tire performance? Yeah, this is where I have to draw a line, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Like, okay, well, let's say what we do know. This choose fronts. Come on, Sam. This choose fronts. This is why Max keeps complaining. I'm -5 brake bias and the thing still won't turn. So Max choose fronts. Lewis's choose rears. This is why he gets the entry instability like we saw before. So it only leaves you with the other two, geometric or tight line for tire wear. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Everyone wants to know. Birak, does it make sense to pick different cornering styles and racing quali? Again, that's a mad question. Yes, it does. You can pick one of these is better for quali and one of these is better for race. So yeah, yeah, Max, you have to upgrade to Martin Pro Plus. Yeah, come on, guys. Like, I'm not getting paid. None of you guys are whacking in super chats here. So what are you talking about? All right. Hey, listen to this. I took an extract from Andrew Shovlin. He was talking about the relationship between load coming across the car and the impact that has as well on cornering capacity. So I want you guys to listen to Andrew Shovlin now. We'll listen to it together. And then hopefully in the context of the load coming across and all of these 4 techniques that you've seen before, hopefully it makes sense. So let's have a listen to Shov now.
Now, we then need to think about how the tyre actually generates cornering force.